Where do we go from here as a nation to make the progress we need to conquer COVID and reinvigorate the economy and, by extension, the lives of millions impacted by this pandemic? It's certainly going to be much more difficult the longer we stay as divided as we are. So how do we get past that estrangement to make meaningful progress? The American Leadership Forum is an organization that's equipped to lead the way, founded 40 years ago to join and strengthen diverse leaders for the common good. Among its core values, to use dialogue and collaboration and service to the common good as an undercurrent to all efforts. Among the cornerstones of the organization, building trust and networks among diverse leaders and motivating leaders to be catalysts for community positive change. We need that kind of focused leadership among our political leaders now. And here this morning to talk about ways we might be able to move forward, Nora Angel, a president of the American Leadership Forum, Houston Gulf Coast. Arturo Chavez is senior principal at Page Southern and Page and incoming ALF board chair. And Judy Lee, president and co-founder of Take Root LLC. That's an organization that exists to help people and teams develop the skills, knowledge, and practice to become change makers. She's also board certified coach, trained in leadership development through Harvard's Kennedy School of Government Master Class. Good to see all of you this morning. Nori, first starting with you, how effective do you think the ALF philosophy might be in helping to change the direction of our country if it were embraced by some of our national leaders?
I think it is very effective because it allows us to really understand where other people are coming from. It helps us to build deep relationships where we can leverage our diversity, we can be more inclusive, and we can start working on having a common purpose.
The challenge, Art, it seems to me, is having people who understand that challenge and are equipped to move forward and make the changes necessary. What kind of leadership do you think is going to be necessary to make that move?
I think the type of leadership we want is the leadership that feels and embraces the accountability to the dialogue of sharing ideas and sharing these diverse thoughts and concepts that we all have to come back to the dinner table to share with one another. So that sense of accountability goes both ways. Accountable to one another, to listen, to be aware, to respond, to communicate, collaborate on solutions.
And then, go ahead.
No, I think I was just simply saying it's the dialogue goes both ways, and we all need to embrace this accountability.
Judy, that all sounds wonderful, marvelous. Arturo, Art, you did a great job saying that. Written on paper, it sounds great as well. But the reality is, people can hear it, read it, say it, but actually putting into actual practice is the challenge. What needs to be done on the individual level first and then as a group level to kind of make these changes?
Yeah, I think that we need to start thinking about how we think about leadership differently. We often think about leadership as the person who has all the answers and makes all the decisions. And quite frankly, we're facing really complicated, complex, multifaceted problems that require new learning. And so when we have new learning that we need to do to face these challenges, we're asking people to trust each other, to go into uncertain environments. And so a lot of the work of leading has to be about building the trust. And what I love about the ALF program is it really focuses on how do we build the trust in the space for people to not know the answers to these problems, but work together to try to figure it out.
A lot of members of Congress have been saying in recent weeks and months and years, a lot of what they've been saying has been aimed at divided groups. Everybody is in a different silo. They're hearing different things. They're different, the same message, and it's focused on those individuals. President Biden has come in. He's tried to change the tone a bit. How important is it, do you think, for the tone to set the stage? Nora, I know a lot of times at ALF, we always come together and before we start anything else, I'm in. We get rid of things that get in the way of the discussion. How important is it to get stuff out of the way before you start talking about serious dialogue?
I think that is a really key point for all of us to really step into our curiosity about where other people are coming from, what other people are experiencing. And it's only in going into that space and practicing real listening, deep listening, will we be heard. We must create space for other voices to surface before we, as leaders, start to offer our own voices.
And I know we're going to do a Newsmakers Gesture because we have a lot more to unpack on this. Art, as you get ready to take over as chair of ALF, what will you talk about as the focus of the group going forward, individually, locally, that's going to make a difference nationally, you think, ultimately?
Well, it's related to also a response to what Nori just said to your previous question. I think in order to have the conversations and the dialogue that we're aiming for, we have to sort of step back and reaffirm kind of our goals and objectives as a community and what we want for our community, our families, our businesses, our people, and sort of a refocus, a realignment of those goals, and to find that common thread. And let's work on that common thread together.
We're going to talk about how difficult that might be as we continue our Newsmakers Extra. Folks are going to be able to join us on the click2Houston.com on our Newsmakers page. Nori, Angel, Art Chavez, Judy Lee, thank you for helping us put a little bit of focus on this. Much more on Newsmakers.